Hi everybody. Alright, still not set up here yet all the way. So I want to do kind of a out of season type of thing. Let me get this light moved over so I'm not creating so much more shadow here. Well, still creating shadow, but I'll adjust again for a second and see what I can do to get that better. I don't want to get it up in your eyes, so I'm moving it the best way I can. I don't want it in my eyes. Alright, not too bad, I guess. Okay, anyway, out of season. Valentine's passed. Halloween has passed, and we're on our way back to Halloween. So, what I want to do is I'm going to make some bats. And those are the smallest things on this. So I'm going to try to get them done well and intact. I'm going to use UV resin. And I will be using black alcohol ink for the bats. Yellow. Oh, sorry. I don't even know what part of the camera I'm at anymore. HTB Ront. Alcohol inks. These are outdated. Yes, they do come with the date. Sorry about shaking the camera, everyone. Excuse my frog in my throat. But I want to put bats in these larger hearts. So that's what I'm going to do. The hearts are going to be actually yellow instead of red. And I might try doing some of the ghosts that are in here, pumpkins. There are stars, but I'm not so interested in the stars. There are moons, not very interested in the moons. But for definite sure, I'm doing bats. So I'm going to put you on pause while I find another one of these. I found them. And so I'll mix up my black UV resin and my yellow. And please be reminded that when you use alcohol inks in UV resin, you do make sure that, and no, I'm not using gloves right now. Please use your gloves, especially if you've never done resin before and you don't know how it's going to react with your skin. Oh my goodness. Boy, did I close that up the last time. Wow, okay, I'm sure I'll get it open, honest. Oh, there we go. So, all I'm going to do is fill these little cups a little bit, not too much, because there's only so many bats on this mold, and it doesn't take much for them. But I'll put a lot more in for the yellow. But also remind yourselves that when you put fillers into resin, you don't need as much resin. Alright, now I gotta wipe that off real fast. That keeps it from running down the inside of the cap. And creating a mess. Make sure you get your cap on straight. And nice and tight. I keep mine inverted like this so that the resin stays at the cap. That way it's not so difficult to do. I will need a, oh my goodness, I try not to use anything very scratchy in my molds. So, okay, with the move, I don't know what I did with my smaller items. I'll be right back. Alright, yes, I'm going to go ahead and mix these up so that you can see about what I mean with the alcohol inks. Make sure they are shook. Try not to shake your camera if we're putting it on video. I'm not sure if this is open, but it looks like it is. Only a small amount. Do not immediately begin mixing. Let that alcohol take its time to dissipate. The ink will probably settle to the bottom, and that gives that alcohol a chance to evaporate. And I do not have this one open, but of course. So I need a little pin, and I will grab one real quick. I think I know where I put them, and I might be incorrect on that too. Oh my goodness. So let's see. All right. Well, yes. Boy, do I sound dough today, huh? All right. Just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay. Found a pin. Shaking this back up again. Then I'm going to tap it on the table just to get that amount that's always sitting at the top to not be sitting at the top too much. Because they do tend, when you open them, to volcano out. So, also keep a napkin or paper towel or cloth of some kind right close to it. Get your pin positioned. Push gently. You don't want to make it too open. And I heard the little volcano go off. As you can see, there's yellow. Get it wiped off your pin. Okay, now we can put some in here. We can put 2 drops in this one because yellow is not too dense a color. And the black is already dissipated, so now I can stir that and see if I can put any more black in. And the idea with UV resin is to do small layers at a time. You don't want to do it all at once. I don't know how shiny that is in your view. And I should probably move this down a little bit so you can see better. So I'm going to put this yellow over on this side. Well, okay, it kind of looks like it could definitely use a little bit more black. So let's go ahead and put another drop of black in. Now, of course, when you mix into UV resin, you're going to mix bubbles in. And since that wasn't that bad a black, I'm putting 2 more drops in. I'll set this up here for a moment. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing is I probably have fur in there. Alright, the black is going to be put away now. As I said, you don't want to use too much because you don't want to go too opaque. And yes, of course, there's fur in there. Now you can begin mixing it, but before you utilize it, make sure that the alcohol has had a chance to evaporate. I'm going to see if I can try to find that little piece of fur. Well, I thought I had it there for a second. Definitely mixed bubbles in. I am doing UV resin projects right now because we were just starting to get out of the cold, and unfortunately we have another cold spell coming in, and UV resin is about the only choice you have when the weather turns a little bit on the bitter side. Okay, apparently that wasn't a hair, it was just a strand of bubbles. Okay. Alright, that's stirred as well as it's going to be. So let's go ahead and wipe this nice and clean. And get the yellow stirred. Now because I want the back seen, I don't want this too dark of a yellow, but I think I overshot it. Well, let's just give it a test anyway, right? Get this stirred up. And I'm going to grab my long neck lighter to get rid of the bubbles. Remember, only a long neck lighter or a small blast with a heat gun, never a torch. Torches tend to meld your resin to your mold. And you can also melt your mold pretty well. You can even catch your resin on fire, so I've done that a couple of times. Alright. Alcohol should be dissipated out of both by now. So this one sat the longest. There we go. Get some of those bubbles out. Okay, and then this one. And there she goes. Okay. And I did touch the tip of this into the resin just a smidge on the side, so I wipe it off. Okay. So these can kind of cure together. I'm going to do kind of layers here. Now the black isn't too black, and it is pouring out pretty quick though. I don't see very well anymore. I do have a very cloudy vision coming in. There's pretty much nothing I can do about it. They're not even quite sure what's causing the cloudiness yet. So I didn't get new glasses. And I'm kind of stuck with whatever happens, happens. Whoops, overpoured that bat. Can't even tell where any more bats are. Okay, I think I got all the bats. Now, I do have another mold like this, but it's a pink mold that was meant for fondant. And those don't do so well with UV resin because you can't really get the cure in that you need. Okay, let's wipe some of that out of there and off, because I really don't want to trim anything. This is just for fun, just to put a little bit of Halloween spirit back into me. You know, life happens, and well, you got to do what you can to put a little bit of joy back in your life. Many things happened in 23, and they weren't always, they definitely weren't always good. Okay, I think I got enough of that one done. Let's make sure I've got all the bubbles out of this here. And yes, I will go back over with a long neck lighter. And of course 24 isn't starting out so great either right now, so I'm doing the best I can, everybody. You know, try not to get depressed or anything, because life is life. And I'll still have my left eye, although it was damaged when I was a child, and I have scratches on my cornea. I can still see out of it for the most part. The only problem is when you have vision in only one eye, you have a depth perception problem. So as my vision begins going, I will do less and less, and I will have an assistant with me at all times, so that if I make a mistake, they can catch it for me real fast. And the time will come when I can't see it all. And I do have a friend I have given permission, and she will have my password, so that I have a video that's going to go and be sitting in there in private for until that time happens. And she will go in and she will release it so that people get to know what's happened, so that nobody thinks I just up and disappeared. And from time to time, she will probably give you a little bit of update on me. Okay, I think we got the bats handled. Unfortunately, I don't have any other molds, so I might fill in some, yeah, let's fill in a couple of black hearts. Don't want to waste the resin, so we just do those kinds of things, right? Let that fill in all the way. Make sure where the level is. These I don't mind doming a little bit, because they'll be useful in other things. A little too much doming on that one. So we just remove it. Okay, the black is done. I mean, I could probably fill in these two itty bitties, but I'm not going to. That would be silly. Or would it? Just as long as those are domed and not spreading too far. So those are domed. They're done. All right, let's go ahead and wipe this off. Now, with my eyesight bad, I don't know where any of the resin is that I wiped off in the first place. So now that I know that there's a lot of yellow there, I can throw this one away. And then that way I can see with the new one what I'm doing. Okay, let's go ahead and fill this heart about halfway. And I may have to make a little bit more yellow, but that's all right too. And it's really deeper than I thought it was. So remember, UV resin in layers so it cures. And then you cure both sides top and bottom. Guess that wouldn't be sides, would it? Okay, let's get that filled in and go into the edges. Okay. Okay, I'm going to say this is the oddest shaped heart on the inside, I think. Can't really tell if it's the lighting or what. But it does seem to be pulling away from this end, even though it's quite full. So I'll put a little bit more in to try to keep it edge to edge. But what I'm seeing is, wow, it's completely unlevel. Now, my leveling table is leveled out completely. I use an actual spirit level that's one of those meant for construction type of things. And I can see that this here is leaning. And that's why it keeps doing those weird things. I don't want to do that with the black hearts, but I'm trying to figure out how to level this thing. Okay, I got that to level a little bit on the other side finally. So I'm going to add a little bit more to this side. Get it to go to the edge like that. Okay, I think that part is ready. I do think so, yes. It doesn't matter if I have some on the side. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, it's definitely unlevel. But nothing I can do about it right now because I got to figure out what to do. Maybe if I can get some perfect hearts out of that mold, I can go ahead and make another mold out of it so it's not unlevel. I'm just trying to find something black to put over the, oh, well, I guess I can use my mouse pad for the black to go over those little tubs in there so that the UV light doesn't get under my table. It is a glass table, so let's put that black on top. Alright, black's on top now, and all I need now is my UV light. I'll be right back because I think I put it away for a second. Alright, now before I put my UV lamp on, we'll do the removal of bubbles first. Get that done. Move it around a little bit, of course, because you don't want it to heat up too much on any area. Go back over it if you feel you need to. But remember, do not keep it in one spot. Okay. Now, I've learned that this lamp is quite strong. So it does have a tendency to warp molds. And the thinner ones like this. So I'm only going to put it on for around 30 seconds and try to keep an eye on it. Need to release this just a little bit more here. You can tell I haven't made a craft video for a while. I'm all goofy at it right now. I've only been able to manage to get the shopping hauls done. And even then, not so well on that either. Oh, look at that. I have a yellow fingernails. I wonder where that yellow came from. Inky dinky doo. Okay, let's get this plugged in. And then I'm going to pause you as this cures, okay? Okay, it's plugged in. Source is turned on. So I'll be back. And by the way, since my eyes are bad, I do not look anywhere near this light. I turn around backwards. So I'll be back as soon as I can. Okay, I'm back. And now comes the best part. I am going to put this glow-in-the-dark powder, brush it on the heart on the inside there, and then I will make sure the bats are cured. Now this is cured enough to get it tacky enough for this to stick to it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to grab my little brush I use all the time. And we're going to brush it on. These caps are such a pain to get off, but I always keep them on so that I'm not having to accidentally dump it as I'm trying to open it. But of course there's always the possibility of dumping it while you're trying to get the cap out. We are getting there. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to dust this on, and we're going to dust it on as thick as we can. So I'm just going to put some down first since it's still a little tacky. Okay, now we're just going to brush it all the way around. And this stuff is quite gritty. You do want a thick enough layer to be able to charge it better, because sometimes it doesn't charge too well. And I kind of want it thick enough where the bats are so that you can see the bats when it glows. Alright, that's enough powder in there. So let's put that away. Now I am going to do one more cure, so I will be right back. Alright, I did test the potency, and I did not like that it was not bright enough. So I added a little bit more resin to this, and I'm going to dump a fair amount into it. Like that. Probably a little bit more just to make sure it charges really well. Okay. Now I can go ahead and close this up. The yellow is still the yellow it was. I did not add any more yellow to it. And now we just have to stir that up and get that mixed in there. It will be quite thick for sure because of the powder. It should still cure very well. Now my only problem is that I have to make sure it's fully incorporated into there. I don't want any big chunky stuff. And there should be plenty here to top off above the bats. So give me a moment because I still have to cure the bats on the underneath. I haven't cured these on the underneath yet either. But the bats are going to have to go in, so they have to be fully cured. So I'm going to put this out of harm's way. No UV light to it. And I'm going to put you on pause. I'll get these things cured and we'll get finished. Alright, I cured the back side 3 times by a minute each. So that's 3 minutes. And I did that because it's a little thicker on the other side. As you can tell, I don't know if you can see that, how thin the bat area is. It's not, I mean, you can see part of it through there. But I'm going to go ahead and pop them out now. They should be fully cured. And no, I'm not going to touch them until I make absolutely sure. So we just... Uh-oh. It's either not cured or it's just sticking to the mold. Ooh, boy, that mold came out funny. Okay, it's not sticky. It's just the static in the mold. That's pretty fun. Got that one out. Now this mold seems to be better than the pink one because the bat's wings were so thin near the body that they would come apart when you demolded them. Truly though, there's no really such word as demolding, it's unmolding. So when I unmolded them, alright, those are fantastic. They're all together, they're all perfect. Oh, not perfect. Nothing is perfect in this planet. Okay, so now we're going to bring this back up and we're going to place these bats. And I'm not thinking all of them are going to fit in here. So we are going to... I don't use the tweezers because they have a tendency to lose grip and everything flies off. And I know bats fly, but that's not the intention right now. Now the underneath of the heart is going to be the front. So we're going to place these little old bats in here. Haphazard as much as possible. See which one's the front, which one's the back. Okay. Really hard to tell. Oh, there we go. So we got 3 bats in. Maybe that's all we need, just the 3 bats. Oh, look, I have leftover bats. I'm sure I'll find a use for those. I always do. Okay, let's bring that yellow back out. Make sure it's bubble-free as much as possible. There we go. Lots of little bubbles on top there. I still see some bubbles, but we will take care of that after it's poured. And if I must, I'll put another little layer on top of this. But right now we're going to just let it find its own way. I don't know why I keep saying we. I'm the only one here. So, but I do like to try to include everybody that's watching into the fun. I don't know how well you're seeing this because even though I can see the front of my camera phone vision, well, you know, the thing. Oh my goodness. Even though I can see the front of my phone and the image is there, I can't see it all that well. So I do have to get my computer back up so I can use my webcam again so that I can see my monitor, which is so much better to see than the little phone. All right. We have 3 little bats. All right, I'm going to mix just a little bit more. It's going to be clear, and I'll pour that on top. Well, not clear. It'll be yellow. It won't have the powder in it. It shouldn't need the powder. But I do want to put just a little bit more yellow in. Trying to judge how much I need. That should be it. If there's any left over, well, I might just do a moon or something. Okay, that's wiped off. Let's get it put away so I don't have that issue. And bring out the yellow ink again, shake a little bit. Drop a little smidgy in. All right, let's get that stirred up. Well, I'll let it sit for a second or two. So I'll be right back while this dissipates. Okay, I did add some more UV resin because it was really quite dark and didn't want it to interfere with the cure process. And it looks more orangey now than it does yellow. So I don't think I shook it well enough. So it'll have a different coloration in there. Oh, it's a good thing I added more anyway, just to bring it up to dome a little. I have found that if you dome afterwards with UV resin, it doesn't quite level out well unless you let it sit forever. And then it has little waves in it. And that's why I do 30-second cures now as well, so that it doesn't create those ripple waves. Bats are trying to rise. I should have tried curing them just a little first. So I'm going to push them down and then try to cure quickly. Get the rest of that out of there. And I'll go ahead, hit it with the lighter real fast because I can see them trying it again. It's down pretty good, pretty well, whichever, however we want to be correct about it, right? Okay, push down, down. This bat went all the way up to the top of the heart there. Maybe we'll turn that back just a little bit here. Okay, I think I am ready to cure. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, let's take out the little hearts first. These have had full cure 3 minutes on this side. This has had a total of 4 minutes. So let's see what happens here. I'm just going to pop them out because I don't want to touch anything barehanded right now. And we, of course, test the little heart. No sticky, okay. Then we're good to pick it up. Okay, let's see, get them up there. Those are really pretty cute. Of course, it's hard to see them without light, but this room really is horrible with lighting. And they are, if you put light behind them, slightly see-through. So they appear black all the way, but can be sort of translucent. All right, here we go with this one. Just to make sure, again, we go ahead, put it out. I test for sticky. No sticky. But I also see that this heart is not completely flat. It's almost like a concave. Oh, I got one bubble. Well, that's disappointing. And a bubble here. Now I do feel kind of a... No, it's not sticky. Alright, now it's had a lot of charge time, so I'm going to go turn off the overhead, which isn't doing much good anyway. And I'll be right back. Then we'll test to see how well charged it is. Okay, I'm going to turn off this other light here. Figures I'd forgotten to turn it up anyway. Okay. Oh, wow, that's weird. It is showing up around on the edges, but not in the middle. So that one powder layer worked out pretty well. I do hope you can see this on camera. So that's pretty strange. But I think it's because the other yellow I added after was a little too dark, maybe. But, alright, that experiment's over with. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. Please leave me comments so I can read them while I still can. I really love engaging with everybody. I won't be able to do this kind of engagement after I go blind. So, and even if I only go blind in the right eye, the left eye will still present me a problem because of depth perception and the scratched cornea. So yes, please leave a comment. And of course, watch your eyes, everybody. Here it goes. Ooh, sorry about that. Thumbs up if you liked the video. If you liked the experiment. And of course, please comment. Subscribe if you haven't. I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to all of you that have subscribed. You've made this old woman really happy. There's not a lot of joy in life anymore these days, but you know, I do try to make do with what I have. And I don't try to say, oh, woe is me. Because life, that's what it is. It happens. Okay? Share if you care. You guys are awesome. Peace out.